Hello and welcome back to GBN America with me, Patrick Christie's, and it's Oscars time, and there really is no better man to talk to this about than Mr. Brian Rowe. Now, regular viewers and listeners will know this chap because he's got his box office YouTube channel, The Awards Contender. He also serves as In Session Films' current awards editor. This guy is about as passionate about the Oscars as it's possible to be. Brian, thank you very, very much for joining us here on GBN America. Now, we're headed in to the 96th Oscars. It's held on Sunday, March the 10th. Can you give us an update of who's in the mix, who are the runners, who are the riders?
Yes, so this is the year of Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer got 13 Oscar nominations this year, more than any other movie. The film has been awarded already at many ceremonies, including the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice. And right now, that looks to be the film to beat for Best Picture and Best Director. At this point, I don't think anything can. The film that got the second most nominations was Poor Things with 11, and that also did very well. But I don't think anything is beating Oppenheimer. It really got in everywhere it needed to, and it's going to do very well at the ceremony in March.
There were a couple of upsets, though, weren't there? People are quite angry. I think that Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig didn't get top nominations. Ryan Gosling did. What's going on there?
Yes, so Barbie did fairly well. I mean, it got a surprise supporting actress nomination for America Ferrera, but many expected the film to get into Best Director for Greta Gerwig and Best Actress for Margot Robbie. They both missed. I think part of the problem is it's a very popular movie. It made a lot of money last year, over $1 billion at the box office. But enough Academy members might have looked at Barbie as if it's already been rewarded in a sense. And it's not your typical awards movie, whereas Oppenheimer is. It's more of like an epic drama kind of sweeping film, whereas Barbie, some could look at as just a more popular summer entertainment. So at the end of the day, I think that's why it got snubbed in those top two categories, although it still got into Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay and still did very well.
All right. Any other win predictions for you? I want to hear it here first on GBN America.
So, I mean, there's only a couple categories in the top categories, I would say right now, that has a race. I think Best Actor right now comes down to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer or Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. Now, The Holdovers did not get into Best Director for Alexander Payne, which many were predicting, as was I. So that makes me think there might be a little bit of an edge for Cillian Murphy. He won Best Actor in a Drama at the Golden Globes. He's very much beloved in the industry. This is his first big nomination. He's never been nominated at the Oscars before. And with Oppenheimer probably winning Best Director and Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor for Robert Downey Jr., it's looking like Cillian Murphy might win this thing in the end. I'm predicting him right now for Best Actor. Best Actress comes down to Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon or Emma Stone for Poor Things. I'm currently predicting Emma Stone for Poor Things. I think that's the performance of the year. She is spectacular. She won at Golden Globes and at Critics' Choice. So I think Emma Stone is looking pretty likely to win there too. Those are kind of the top categories I'm thinking about.
Let's zoom out a little bit and look at the actual ceremony itself. So an audience of 16 million last year was remarkably the second lowest in Academy Awards history. What challenges now do you think are posed for viewers? And there's this kind of big concern, I think, for a lot of people, isn't there, that there's a lot of kind of woke virtue signalling that tends to be around these kind of events, and whether or not the public are turning off from that.
Yeah, I mean, something that's been problematic for the Oscars in the last few years is with the pandemic and a lot of smaller films coming out and getting in. Movies like Nomadland winning Best Picture and Coda winning Best Picture. Coda went straight to streaming. And so there haven't been a lot of big movies that people really care about to tune into the Oscars. Like, I think the most watched Oscar telecast in history was the year of Titanic, which is one of the biggest movies of all time. People loved that movie. Everybody wanted to see if it would win. I do think something that's going to help viewership this year is that the top contenders are going to be films like Barbie and Oppenheimer, movies that made at least close to $1 billion, if not more. And so I do feel like the ceremony this year is going to do better than in the last few years. But yeah, I mean, looking into the future, there's so many options now to watch content on your computer, on streaming, films, TV, and 20, 30 years ago, everybody was tuning into the Oscars because there wasn't as much content to take in. And now there are so many options. I do feel like it is harder each year to get people to care about the Oscars in some way. People can look at it as just another award show, another year. But, I will always stick up for it. It's my favorite award show of the year. And I do think it means a lot to the world of cinema.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of people think, well, I might not have to actually sit through the entire award ceremony. I can just see the winners and their speeches on social media. That's another platform now, which is, I think, having some kind of impact potentially on live audience figures. But you alluded to it there, with all of these different options available to people, whether it's Netflix, it's Amazon, or whatever it is, all of these different streaming services at the moment. What kind of impact is that having on the Oscars? What kind of impact is that having on the film industry?
Right. So something we hadn't seen, I would say, up until the pandemic, well, a little bit beforehand, films that are actually going straight to Netflix that are then going on to win, being nominated for Oscars. Roma was an early example from 2018. That went straight to Netflix pretty much in the United States. I think it got a very small theatrical release, but that's how most people saw it at home on Netflix. And then it went on to win a bunch of Oscars, including Best Director for Alfonso Cuarón. And so, yeah, people are getting every year now, people are getting a little bit more content just watching films at home. And so it is kind of unprecedented lately to have films that are, for the most part, being watched at home that then go on to be nominated, potentially win a bunch of Oscars. So that is playing a role. I don't think, at the end of the day, it's about the best films of the year. So whether it made $1 billion at the box office, whether it just did okay. Most people maybe discovered it later. Like my favorite film of 2023 is Past Lives. That was a very small film, and that got a nomination for Best Picture. So there's definitely a balance. There's a lot of different kinds of movies getting it.
I've been making notes as you've been talking, trying to figure out what I'm going to watch when I get home tonight. But Brian, thank you very, very much. Can I just ask, please, can you just tell everyone here at GBN America where they can find you, what channels you're on, what your handles are?
Yes, so my handle is Mr. Brian Rowe. That's MR Brian Rowe. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter. And my YouTube channel is called The Awards Contender. I have over 200 videos all about the Oscars. I do predictions. I do retrospectives. The Awards Contender on YouTube.
Fantastic. Well, I hope to talk to you again very, very soon. Take care and enjoy the Oscars.
Thank you so much.